Reality check, man. Reality check. Welcome back to Aromatic Realistic TV. You don't know where I bring you awareness of things as they are. Anyway, we see Nigel Clark run out. That's what I mean, and talk to the nation and say that, well, Jamaica have a debt, an outstanding debt of 1 billion that is maturing over the next 2 fiscal years. And basically, I tell Jamaica, say, listen how this thing set you know. We have to go borrow more money from the IMF them. And that's the bottom line. When a man tell about refinance, I know nothing else him talk about money, him have to go borrow money and go use that the money there and clear up all money. that, you understand? So we go dissect it after we listen what him say on the other side.
Two fiscal years in 2023-24 and 2024-25, Jamaica has over $1 billion of external debt maturing that needs to be refinanced at what could possibly be interest rates that are higher than today. Earlier this year, the International Monetary Fund launched a new product, the Resilience and Sustainability Facility, that would allow Jamaica to access up to $763 million at an interest rate of approximately 3.8% and a repayment period of 20 years, with no principal repayment for the first 10 years. At the same time, during this period of uncertainty, though we have over $4.3 billion in gross foreign exchange reserves, in order to ensure that we are not overly exposed to external developments that could derail foreign exchange inflows, we will also access the precautionary liquidity line, where approximately $1 billion would become available to us should we need it. The precautionary liquidity line is an instrument.
So, okay, we just listened to the finance minister, you know, Nigel Clark. So let's dissect. We chop it up now and make some sense. Anyway, this is his words. He says, over the next 2 fiscal years, in 2023 and 24 and 25, Jamaica has over $1 billion of external debt maturing. Jamaica has over $1 billion of external debt maturing. See? That need to refinance at what could possibly be interest rate that are higher than today. See? So if we not go borrow, that's 763 million there to pay off for that old loan there. That's what we are going to pay an interest if we not pay off the old money there. But the catch, you know, you have to listen to the catch. See, because this is the catch, you know. See, we owe over 1 billion of external debt that is maturing, that need to refinance. Refinance mean, you know, I just one thing, you know, we don't go borrow new money for pay off the old money. So whenever you hear about refinance, a borrower they go borrow money for pay off the old money. So the old debt what we went owe, at that now then why we go borrow new money for pay off that debt. So this is the catch, you know. Listen, earlier this year, the International Monetary Fund, we know who is that, the IMF, launched a new product called the Resilient and the Sustainability Facility that would allow Jamaica to access US $763 3 million. You hear me say what's the cash? The catch, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, go lend them 763 million US. That's the catch, you know. See? At 3.8%. The new money. Them go and lend you. You borrow the new money at a cheaper interest rate. So you're going to get it for 3.8%. And also a repayment period of 20 years. So them are lending you the money there over a 20-year period. So you have to pay them back. Them full money plus the interest 20 years. It also said no principal repayment for the first 10 years. It get nice. Finance Minister word again. This is a compelling instrument. This is a compelling instrument that if we access would not only support our climate resilient building strategy, but will also would also potentially save Jamaica approximately 35 million per year over the next 20 years in interest costs. That if we not borrow the new money, if we go pay off the old money, that at the interest rate what we have to go pay. You understand? He goes on. At the same time, during this period of uncertainty, though we have over 4.3 billion US dollar in growth foreign exchange reserve, in order to ensure that we are not overly exposed to external development that could derail the foreign exchange inflow. You know what the man say? Although we have over 4.3 billion US dollars in growth foreign exchange reserve, in order to ensure that we are not overly exposed to the external development that could derail foreign exchange inflow. He says, we will also access the precautionary liquid line where approximately 1 billion US dollar would become available to us should we need it. 1 billion US dollars would become available to the Jamaican people if they need it. So we don't need it now, Mr. Reed, man. We need it, you know. Nigel, we need it. I'm going to tell you why we need it, Nigel. See, we need it. We have 4.3 billion in the BOJ, in the Bank of Jamaica, US. If we pay the IMF $1 billion, what we owe them out of that, it simply means that we leave back with 3.3 billion. Right? We have $4.3 billion in the BOJ, the Bank of Jamaica, sit down in there. So. And we owe with debt of 1 billion. So if we take 1 billion away from 4.3 billion, it's gonna leave us with 3.3 billion. So we don't have to think about the 35 million per year over the next 20 years in interest costs. See? What you want us to do, you know? And them now tell you, because a lot of people aren't going to understand, you know. When a man say refinance, it simply means you have an outstanding loan. The people who have home know what I'm talking about. Because it's either you almost pay off your home or you're in at the middle of it and you go to the bank if you go borrow some money from them at a low interest rate to do some addition on your house. So when a man say refinance, is the old debt what we have, them go borrow the new money and go pay off that debt. But when you borrow the new money and pay off that debt, don't we still indebted with the new money? So we're going to have to pay them back $1 million plus interest on that, the new money. While on the other hand, if we pay them the 1 billion out of the 4.3 billion that sit down in the BOJ, Bank of Jamaica, we don't owe them nothing. So what we can do, you know, at the end of say 15 years, we, the government of Jamaica, borrow back the funds from Jamaica, the 1 billion out of the 4.3 billion, and we pay IMF. And for instantly, so then them when go lend with the money at 3.8%. Then we borrow the money from ourselves for the same 3.8%. And if it take us 15 or 20 years to pay off that loan, what would happen? We would pay back the government, which ourselves, the 1 million, and the interest would also turn over to the government. So that would be a win-win situation for the Jamaican people. Win-win situation for the Jamaican people. Because if we have the money sit down in the bank not doing nothing, and we have our debt, why not borrow the money from ourselves and clear up our debt? Why you want us to go and take new money, which is 763 million US dollars from the International Monetary Fund, which is the IMF, and now we still going to use that to pay off our debt, but now we're still indebted again because of the new debt. So why not just set ourselves debt free by borrowing the money from ourselves, right? Because in the foreign reserve, in the BOJ, Bank of Jamaica, we have 4.3 billion sitting there. So why not just borrow the money from ourselves? And now at the end of the day, we don't owe nobody nothing. Them can't tell we how we spend with money. Them can't tell we what we do from what not to do. Because at the end of the day, it's our money. You understand? You follow? That's all me I say. Take the $1 billion, Mr. Clark. Take the 1 billion from the 4.3 billion that we have. in the Bank of Jamaica and pay off the IMF them loan. But not tell we say, yeah, go borrow, yeah, go refinance, but yeah, go borrow new loan at a lower interest rate, at 3.8% interest rate to pay off the old loan. When we have money in the Bank of Jamaica sitting down not doing nothing, pull $1 billion from it, we still going to leave with 3.3 billion. We not broke. We not depend we face. And at the end of the 15 years or 20 years, the government of Jamaica will get back his 1 billion plus the interest will also turn over to you. But if we go back, go borrow money from the man, them brother, no fresh loan, we start over again. And we have to go pay him back in billion plus also interest rate on it. So, brother, when you know I come, you know if it come good, I don't know if it come clean. Because as I said, we don't not just start to fully done supporters them. But everything we want to say, brethren, them run with it. We don't have to make sense around here. And if we don't make sense around here, we don't digest it. That's why we have to dissect it for ourselves. Chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up, chop it up. For it to make sense. And this is not making any sense, brother. We have $4.3 billion in the BOJ, Bank of Jamaica, sit down. And our debt is 1 billion. So just take 1 billion from it, leave us with 3.3 billion. Pay them off their loan. We don't want nothing. And we're debt free. We go on about with business and we go on about on the business. Why we don't want to put us back with a new loan? Does that make sense? That don't make no sense, brother. That don't make no sense, man. We don't go wheel up and come again, man. It don't make no sense. Use our money and clear with debt. Because you take $1 billion, we still have 3.3 billion leave. So what? What, brother? You don't make no sense, brother. You don't just pull down the country. Pull down the country, man. Alibaba and the 40 thief, man. No get out of here, man. You don't make no sense. Trust and believe. Anyway, peeps, as I said, I bring awareness of things as they are. Much love, man. Stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Until then, we'll chat again. I'm out.